And we're back. Aeolus here, and we're back with another exciting adventure in Minecraft Eternal. We've had a couple things go on here since last we recorded. We've gotten our resources. Lapis is what we were looking for, and I've got some redstone on me as well for what we're going to be getting into. You can see our haul right here. We've got a whole load of cobble. And we've got a decent amount of ores kicking around here. Still haven't touched the diamonds or the emeralds because we're still waiting to get a little bit of luck. We'll dig into them if we really need them, but it's not hurting us to let them sit there for now. We've compressed down our coal into some blocks. We cooked up a little bit more food here. To that end, we actually expanded our farms. I've been harvesting it. It was only twice that I've harvested it. Got enough seeds to fill it out and planted down some sugar canes as well, because we're going to need more paper and stuff like that coming up here soon. Now, while I was down digging around, if you don't know Thaumcraft very well, it's been around for quite a while. It's been in hiatus for quite a while, but it's also come back recently. You can find these crystals when you're digging. Now, when you're doing that, little messages will pop up, and I believe it says something to the effect of "you feel a strange tingle," and then when you go to bed the next time, you get this book, Strange Dreams, and that's when that message pops up here. So the first one, your fingers tingle, and then when you go to sleep, you awaken from a strange dream. You quickly write it down before the memory fades. And all the information's in the book, and it's your initial starting guide to get into Thaumcraft. We're not going to be getting into it right yet, but we're going to hold on to it. So first things first, the reason that we wanted to get the lapis is because we're going to continue to upgrade our tools. Now, for now, we're just going to use one piece, kind of as a placeholder. But luck is a little special when you put it on your digging tools. What happens is you have a chance to level up that skill. You can see when it's in here, it has a modifier of, it's got a level of 1 of 60. Now, it doesn't actually get Fortune 1 until you hit level 60. But as you dig, it has a chance to increase that level. Now, you can do it manually with one piece of lapis, increases it. One level, but we don't have a lot of lapis. This is literally all we have, so we're just putting it on there as a bit of a placeholder, and again, it will level up itself. So we're going to get some free levels out of it, and we're going to be using our equipment anyway, so we might as well. Now I'm going to use half a stack of redstone for haste, and you'll check out our mining speed. For a standard stone pick head is 3, and then up to 7.26, with just half a stack of redstone. And redstone's pretty plentiful, so that's going to help us out with our mining going forward. Now we're going to do the same with our hammer, and you can stack your bonuses at the same time. Now you can see these are using up our modifiers, right? One piece takes up a modifier, that takes up a modifier. Despite the fact we're putting 32 levels on it, it still only takes one modifier. It saves us a bit of time. And lastly, we're going to do our sword. And the same thing, we want looting on it, so we get our 1 bit of luck. And as well, we want nether quartz. Nether quartz will give us sharpness, which will up our damage. Now you can see it won't do much right now. The attack damage is 4.64. It's pretty negligible right now, but that's because there's only one level on it out of 72, so that'll go up a lot more over time. But again, we're just putting it on there for placeholders because we only have so many modifiers, and we don't want to accidentally put something on them when we don't mean to. So there we go. Now I went ahead and I got some more resources. I found some more aluminum, made some more aluminum brass, so we could get our smeltery cleared out, as well as get some more ingots. We got a little bit of gold here. We've got a little bit more iron. You can see we've got lots more to smelt. And then we got the rest of the bronze out of there. So how you get that out, or how I did it, is I used one of my mistakes. And you just slap down any ingot or a brick or something that's the same kind of shape. Use your one piece of aluminum brass. I made another batch of 8, so that's why we're down to 7. And that gives you your ingot cast. And from there is how you can empty out single ingots from your smeltery. So we cleared out that. I usually leave the aluminum brass in there at least until we get around to automating the smeltery, which is kind of my plan for today because I want to be able to smelt through the rest of these resources. So I'm going to get a few things put together here and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I think I've decided what I want to do this time around. I really want to get the fluid conduits from Ender.io. Anyone who's messed with Ender.io knows that conduits are pretty much the best thing ever for moving items, power, fluids, all that kind of good stuff from machines around to one spot and another. They are quite powerful. Some would probably say overpowerful because you can stack them all into a single block space, but we don't care about being overpowered, so we're going to start there. Now, we are going to need an alloy smelter for this because the simple alloy smelter is the basic one because we need quite clear glass, and the only way to get that is, of course, in the alloy smelter by smelting glass. So to make one of these, they're fairly straightforward. We've got the iron. Stone gears are easy. It's basically just sticks and stones. Or you can do it the hard way and smelt stone and cast it. But the only real problem is these grains of infinity, which still aren't really a problem. Now going down the Ender.io chain, you're going to need a lot of these grains of infinity anyway, because you use them for their kind of basic machine frames and stuff like that, as we see here. Missing chassis, grains of infinity, and all you have to do is there's 2 ways, and eventually we'll get down to this. That is fire water. It's going to take some more doing. Right now you can just light them on fire, so that's your basic way to do it. Much more manual, but it's the only thing we really have the resources for. So I was trying the old chisel method to try to get the quite clear glass, but apparently that doesn't work anymore, which is fine. It was a little cheaty. It saved you having to make the actual machines to do the job, but we're going to have to go through that process. So we need flint and steel, which is fine. We'll need that eventually for our nether portal. I'll grab one of those, and we have to light bedrock on fire. Well, we're already pretty far down. Getting to bedrock is just going to be a few more levels. I never finished out clearing out the headspace here. I have to do that someday. But for the time being, we're just going to pick a side. Let's take this side, I guess, and start clearing down. Well, the one nice thing with the hammer, or anything that digs 3x3, is it's quite easy to dig some stairs going down. I'm going to put you up there since we're going to do some digging. And we're just going straight down to bedrock. There's some bedrock there. Now, we do want a little bit of bedrock exposed, just so that way we can light a bunch of it on fire. You still only have... I can't remember what the chance is. I think it's like a 50% chance when you're actually lighting fire onto bedrock. So, you know, still not the best chances. But it's what we have to work with, so we're going to work with it. So we just light bedrock on fire. And we wait for it to do its thing. Now they should start popping, making a sound. Or they don't. If they pop, then that means it worked. Oh, you can hear it there. Our magnety stuff might be working. Not yet. We'll just hang around, keep lighting fires. It's kind of a monotonous part, but that's why we want to get to automating it. But for the time being, this will work. There we go. Collect the infinite. Grains of infinity. I'm just going to wait till the rest of these pop. We only need one for now. We will be needing more, so we'll just wait till they burn out. We'll head back upstairs and we'll make this sucker. Alright, so we're back upstairs. Inventory's cleaned out. We got 4 grains of infinity. Not great, but, you know, we only need 1 right now anyway. So, we need to make alloy smeltery. Machine chassis. We're going to need some iron bars. Got our chassis. Now, we are going to need more, but I don't want to waste the iron resources quite yet. I'm going to need a couple more furnaces. Oop. We're going to need the stone gears. All pretty simple stuff. We'll use up our bucket, I guess. But I am still going to want to carry one on me. We'll get to it later. Now, we are also going to need a power source. Now, what are we going to use for early power? You know what? Simple, easy. We're going to go with one of the generators. I think we'll just do a simple furnace generator. Again, they're just quick and easy. Simple resources. They'll use coal. And any burnable resource, really. Furnace generator. Alright, now for that furnace generator, we're going to want at least a few bits of coal. We'll start with that. Alloy smelter. We'll keep with the rest of our smelters, I guess, for now. This is very temporary. Once we start getting into automation and machines, we're going to move all this stuff around because we're going to definitely want to share that power source. Not that it's a great one, but it's what we're using. So we'll pop our coal in, generating some power. It's filled up already. Now, this being the most basic tier is going to be pretty slow. And for now, we only need 3 pieces of glass. The benefit to using the alloy smelters is they can smelt 3 pieces at a time, which makes them generally about 3 times faster. Of course, they do use power, but, you know, that's machines. I don't want to waste too much more. Can't remember if they shut off or not. Now, we only need 3 for now because the conduit recipe only calls for 3. But it does also call for conduit binder, which we have to cook down some more gravel, sand, and clay. I'm just going to grab 8 for now because I know that it doubles. We might as well use our... Really? Well, that's interesting. We'll just cook it in a normal furnace then. And it will double into conduit binder, so that's why I only went with the 8 for now. We'll just wait for that to cook up and we'll be right back. And 6 pieces is all we need, so we'll just grab that. And we'll clear this out. Quite clear glass. Conduit binder. The recipe is fairly similar for all the different conduits. It's usually 3 pieces of whatever material you need and then 6 pieces of conduit binder. So you are going to need a lot of conduit binder if you want to go the conduit route. Now we've just got the basic fluid conduit, so it's not great, but it will serve our purposes. Now I'm going to keep this one there because that I want to be a little bit more of a manual process now that we're going to be automating the ingots. And you can hook up fluid transfer stuff to Tinkers. Now with these pipes, you can set a redstone mode to be active or never active. So you can also set it to have a redstone signal or active without, you know, your standard stuff. Now you probably just heard it run because as I ticked it through, we went to always active. Now that's going to automatically pump out any fluid that's in here. And it'll first fill the pipes, which is why there's kind of a weird number right there. It might be a little alarming at first, but we'll get through it. So next up, I would like to use item conduits. from Ender IO, but that requires pulsating ingots, and we do not have them. They require Ender pearls, so they start to get a little bit pricey. So what we'll do is just use good old-fashioned hoppers. We're going to get a little vanilla with it too. Now I know I'm going to want 2, and I'm going to want 2 of these chests as well. Because what we're going to do is we're going to automate the output. So you can see that's filled. Well, it's ready to be taken out. So we put down our oak chest, and we snag a shift-click a hopper onto the side, and it's pulled it out, put it into the chest. So the pipe continues to pull it out, fill up the table, hopper pulls it out once it's done. And then once this all clears out, because there was enough materials in there to make, a perfect amount of ingots, it should eventually clear out the pipe and then move on to the iron. Now, if you want a little bit easier control, you could throw a lever somewhere and set it to active with signal or without signal, and then it'll, respect the signals. But I like to just do it manually. It's just as easy. And you can see it's now moved on to the iron. But for some reason, it didn't get a perfect amount. Oh! I wonder why it backstuffed into there. Insert, don't want you to extract at all. You are extract only. Maybe we need to be a little bit more specific. That is unfortunate. That means we're going to lose some materials. Well, I'd rather lose the iron than the aluminum brass. Alright, so let's break you. Plop you back down. Insert, don't extract. We're just going to be a little bit more specific. And hopefully, there we go, that filled it up. So we're going to lose some iron, but that's okay. Iron's a little bit more cheap. You'll see what happens when it gets all backstuffed here. All right, so that is pulling out the output. Now we want to automate the input. Again, simple hopper. We're going to put a chest on top of it, means we can't have anything on top of the chest. And there you go. Well, we don't want that dirt in there. I think that it turns into molten dirt or something like that, obviously. So that's going to run through all that, and it'll do it while we're not even here. And as we put more resources in there, they'll smelt down. But I'm going to wait to get rid of this weird backstuffing issue we're going to have. Let you finish up. While we're waiting on this, might be a good time to mention one of the reasons we didn't want to use all of our lapis is we also want to make time in a bottle. Now, anybody that's been around Direwolf 20 enough knows what time in a bottle is. Some people think it's cheaty, overpowered. Again, we don't care about overpowered. But we are going to need diamonds. So we're probably going to have to break down and go mine out a couple diamonds just so that way we can make it. While we're here, we'll get the clock done. But it also requires lapis. And a glass bottle. So we'll just get that ready. We are going to be working on some more inventory cleaning up in just a moment. We'll just finish up one project at a time. So we can see here that the amount of molten iron in there is not enough to make a full ingot. That is unfortunate. Now we could put more iron in there, but we're still going to have that problem eventually by the time it clears out. Now the easiest way to fix this problem, break the table. I'll get sucked back up in, but it's not a big deal. Now we lose the molten iron, so we did waste some resources, but it's not a big deal. Now you need to be careful when using this method, because if you forget that you've got this turned on, that's one of the useful things about a lever, or a popular method is also, I believe, a redstone clock, because it's got a little bit more of a visual representation. It's also pretty easy to make, probably easier than what I did, but I wanted to do this method. I use the redstone clock usually, so change it up a little bit. And then we plop it back down and you're good to go. Put all of our patterns back down here. That's just the way that I like to organize things. And then keep the aluminum brass, we've got iron, and that's automated. Now we can just grab our iron. We'll do the whole thing. Up into the chest, pulled out into the hopper, dumped into the smeltery. Now it has to be on the smeltery controller. That is what will control any of your input type stuff. Now you can pipe directly into a seared tank as well once you get that set up, which we might. We probably won't stay with the smeltery forever, but since we already have it, we're going to use it. So now to smelt everything down, come back out, just as usual. Now I did mention that we were going to solve some more inventory problems. Let's get to that, and then we'll probably wrap up the episode. So what I prefer to do for bulk storage is drawers. Drawers are great because they hold one item, but they hold, well, your basic drawer will hold 32 stacks of one item. Now you can get double drawers, which they'll hold the same number of items, the same quantity, but the 1x2 drawers will hold 2, 2x2 drawers will hold 4. And then there's much more, well, a little bit more advanced things like controllers and compacting drawers, which we'll be getting into. For now, we want to look after all this cobblestone, and then we're going to want to look after probably redstone and coal as well. So I'm going to want to make a single drawer for the cobble, because I know we're going to have a whole whack of that, and I just need to store one. And then next, we're going to want to go for some double drawers. The double drawers, they'll also give you 2 of them instead of just the single drawer that we got from that. So yeah, gives you 2, and then when you do the 2x2s, they'll give you 4 of them. So it's probably a little bit more cost effective to go that route, but again, you can't store as large a quantity of items. Now we're just going to jam that there, and our double door drawer will go there, and we're going to grab cobble, right click on the drawer, and if you check out your tooltip on the upper left, it's got 20 stacks in there of 64 items plus 2, and the stack limit's 32. Now you can upgrade these guys, which again we will get into shortly. Holding right click will put an item in there if it doesn't already have anything in it. Now if you don't have anything in your hand, you can right click and it just grabs everything from your inventory. A little bit easier. Now just for placeholders, I'm going to grab some of this stuff. We don't need blocks of coal right now, so I'll just turn them back into normal. We know we're going to have a lot more of that stuff going forward, and there we go. Inventory's nice and cleaned up. I did make a separate chest for kind of random tool stuff. You know, the tools that we're not using anymore and the tools that we want when we're going to go adventuring or digging. Now, there's some things that I do like to keep on me at all times, namely my tool station and my crafting station, but usually that will go into a bag. And that is where we're going to leave it. Next episode, I think we're going to look into making the bag of holding first off. That shouldn't be too difficult. And we'll finalize a couple upgrades and finally get some mending on our tools, make use of all this experience we have in one way or another. And thanks for coming to hang out with me. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll catch you later.